Let's do it.
I'm a little bit off today, I cannot put my finger on it. Got up a little off today, just to play that same old song. I don't really want to try today, I see nothing in my reflection. I'm a little bit dry today, I feel like I could die today.
Сучка. Все, ноги. На. Кс-кс-кс-кс. На.
Hello, look at LTM reviews to get you caught up on the oldest movies. Hoodwinked. So, Hoodwinked was a movie that was made in 2006 and was released by the Weinstein Company, who is known for a bad reputation of releasing bad animated movies, as well as okay-ish live-action movies. Today, we're going to be focused on Hoodwinked 1. So, Hoodwinked was made during the time when a movie called Shrek came out. Everybody was doing, and every animated film was taking new heights, and everybody wanted their own animated Shrek. Hoodwinked was one of those movies that tried to cash in on it. And Hoodwinked was independently funded. The Weinstein Company had nothing to do with Hoodwinked. They signed up on it at near the end of production. So basically, the Weinstein Company is basically their way of distributing it. They did not make it from scratch. It's kind of like similar to Dougal, where the Weinstein Company just bought the film. They didn't really they just redubbed the film rather than actually animating and making the movie themselves. Hoodwinked was just their way of, they just bought the film. So what's Hoodwinked about? So Hoodwinked is basically a parody or a different take on the Red Riding Hood story. You got a girl named Red, played by Anne Hathaway, the grandma, Granny, played by Glenn Close. You have the Woodsman, played by Jim Belushi, and my personal favorite, Patrick Warburton, as the Wolf. They're each telling their own part of the story, but there's kind of a strange twist to it, as well as a subplot involving this bandit, or a goody bandit that's on the loose. And it all connects to the Red Riding Hood story, and there's this big twist at the end, which I won't give it away, but it's actually kind of hilarious. So, a little bit of history behind this movie. I actually saw this movie in theaters back in 2006. I was very small at the time, but still, this was a big deal for me. So, I was a little bit nervous when I went into this film, because this is one of those few movies where sometimes they're not as good as I remembered it, but at the same time, I wanted to make sure if it's still as good as I remembered it on its own. And this movie is pretty weird, to be honest, but at the same time, it's a good kind of weird, and to be fair, it kind of works. And out of all the fractured fairy tales I've seen, this one is the one that actually works. What I like about Hoodwinked was its storytelling. I mean, yeah, it's a crime scene, and it may sound stupid on paper, but when you really get into the details and when you really get into the idea, it actually works. This is one of the fractured fairy tale movies, unlike Happily Never After or Dougal. The pop culture references actually work, and they're actually well used, and they have substance between them. Some of the jokes here are actually hilarious. I was actually laughing my butt off with these jokes, mostly with Patrick Warburton's dry humor in the film. Some of the characters are actually very likable. Like I said, the Wolf especially. I love Patrick Warburton's delivery, and while I do admit that this is one of his more tame performances, I do think his character was well written. Characters like Twitchy were not as bad as I thought it would be, but the thing with Twitchy is that, kind of like the Scrat from Ice Age or the Minions from Despicable Me, while he is just there, he wasn't always the focus, and he did have a purpose in the story. He was integral to the story, and while he is, most people would say, is a Scrat clone, there is sort of a charm to him. People like Red just felt very not well written to me. Just because of making her badass and making her look cool didn't really seem that appealing to me. She felt like a little bit of she seemed like a Fiona clone from Shrek. But then again, everybody else, like the granny and the woodsman, have their own charm to them. The songs, I will admit, are kind of eh. They're not awful, and I like a couple of them, but they're just not very memorable. Now, let's talk about the white elephant in the room, and that's the animation. The animation is like Food Fight, but not as bad, but it pretty much shows. The animation is awful. It's very noticeable, and I can see why this film would have been better off as a direct-to-DVD movie. But, you know, the designs of the characters look ugly, the backgrounds are very generic, the world that they created, although imaginative, kind of feels completely unoriginal, especially the fact that they're taking some elements from Shrek, and the fact that the movie looks like something out of Food Fight. Well, not as bad as that movie or Norm of the North. It at least has texture, and I can see some good talent in it, but it just doesn't work. Now, with that said, there is their saying where bad writing cannot save good animation, but bad animation could save good good writing could save bad animation, but good animation cannot save bad writing, which Hoodwinked 2 has that, but I'm going to talk about that film another day. But back on to Hoodwinked 1. The animation is not good, but the story and the characters still hold up. Now, overall, I enjoyed this movie, and it's kind of, even though I find it kind of weird as an adult, I still kind of enjoy watching it just because if it's so bad, it's good quality. I don't think Hoodwinked's great, and it has problems, like I said, the animation and some of the songs and some of the questionable plot holes, but it really works as a whole, and to be honest, it's kind of strangely underrated. I know it sounds crazy because people have already talked all over the internet. Some people on the internet has already talked about this movie. But for me, I find it very underrated, and I hope it does get more attention over time. Now, do I think it's as good as Shrek or the first two Shreks? Not really, but I wouldn't mind coming back to this movie again. Overall score, I give Hoodwinked a 7.5 out of 10. It's not great, but it could have been so much worse. Alright guys, that's Hoodwinked for you. I hope you all enjoyed this review. Please subscribe, comment below, let me know. This is LTM signing out, and I'll see you guys next time. And next time, we're going to start doing some Halloween movies.
Whoa, hey, Mario, Banana Slam, am I right?
What?
Whoa, hey, what's the matter? Calm down.
Oh, my back.
What?
I threw out my back.
Oh, you want us to put the hurt on you? I think he wants me to put the hurt on him.
No, stay back.
I think he wants you to put the hurt on him.
You think he wants me to put the hurt on him?
No, get away from me.
Yes, I do.
No, get away. I'm ruined.
Peace.